Hey Van City Church, it's me Josh. I'm here with another weekly update video. We've been doing this for a while now, and there's a couple of reasons. The first is that the world is different. It has been for a little bit, and it seems like it's going to be weird for a while still. So we're meeting every Sunday evening. We get together in Vineyard Church in Vancouver, and we gather on Sunday evenings, kind of like the way that we gathered before the world got a lot weirder during the pandemic and everything. But it's not quite like the old gatherings. If you've been there, you know we're spread out, we wear masks, there's all kind of precautions, and the evenings have taken a bit of a different shape. There's not a lot of eating afterward. There's actually no eating afterward. There's not a lot of hugging and handshaking. There's actually none of that either. So the time is more like a contemplation and prayer, listening to God's Spirit, worshiping. We take advantage of all the things that we can do and that are uniquely done by the church in a group setting, but with limitations. And having announcements about what's going on in that setting doesn't seem to fit just right. And the other reason is that there's a lot of people who, for safety reasons, can't quite join us just yet. So they stream online, or they find other ways to participate in their communities through Zoom. Maybe that's you, so you understand what I'm talking about. But we want to keep everyone up to date on what's going on with our church. I realize it feels kind of like a formality, like here's another talking head, and this is going on, this is going on. But really, this is the best that we can do to make sure everyone knows that we're here, that we love you guys, we care about you guys. We're still a church. We're still finding ways to be in each other's lives and to care for one another and to be concerned for the things of Jesus in our city and around the world, especially when things are really strange like they are now. So one of the things that's going on is that if you're new to Van City and you want to get involved and want to get plugged into a community, or really just find out more about what we believe as a church and how we practice our unique vision for the church in Vancouver and all that, there's a basics class coming up on November 15th, our last basics class of the year. It's an hour-long webinar, essentially, where myself and a few of our leaders will talk to you guys a little bit online. It's pretty down to earth, and I think pretty painless. And we let you know how it works and what it would look like if you were to get involved. And then you can make a decision about whether or not you want to be a part of Van City Church. So there's no contract to sign. You can really just show up if you're curious, and you're welcome to do so. November 15th at 11 a.m. You can find more information at vancity.church/basics. The other thing to know is that the women of Van City are going to be meeting in small groups, following all the state guidelines for social distancing and safety, beginning in the fall. They're going to be just spending some time together in small groups, a few small groups, so that they can accommodate everyone who wants to join, and going through a Bible study together, making time to pray for one another, hear from one another, be in each other's lives. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to vancity.church, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's a link that you can click to get more information about how to sign up and get plugged into a group. We are, as a church, like every church, and like you guys, dependent on finances to make it through all of this. And last year, like I've been saying in video after video, was a great year for Van City Church. We grew tremendously in the spiritual discipline of generosity, and we went from a church who never made budget to a church that made budget most months out of the year. Tapered off a bit at the end of the year, and we did not make budget in the final month of the year. But overall, in 2019, or 2018-19, how does it work, Patrick? 1920, sorry, the numbers are so weird because we're still in 20, but you understand what I'm saying. This past year, we made budget for the year. We'd never done that. We're on year 4 now of our church, moving closer and closer to year 5 all the time. And we did that. We'd never done that before. But it reminds me and it reminds us that it's something that we have to persist in order to not just survive financially as a church, but to be able to do the kinds of things that we want to do, to grow the team that we want to have, to be able to participate in justice causes in our city and around the world. So my encouragement to myself, to you guys, is to persist in the discipline of generosity, continue to give, not out of what you don't have, but out of what you do have in a self-sacrificial way. It's rarely convenient, and it should always be a sacrificial gesture to give for the sake of God's kingdom. And by the Spirit of God, we can be enabled to do that, to remind one another the goodness of giving and to encourage one another. And one way you do that is just to give, and then that graph goes up, in the month, and you see that it's making it. And I know that it's a huge encouragement to me, as I've heard it is an encouragement to other people in our family and community. So thank you guys so much for that encouragement. Keep up the great work. Hopefully we'll see you guys really soon.